Many people think of fishing as a quiet hobby. They picture a calm lake, they picture a sunny day, but commercial fishing is very different. It is not a hobby. It is a hard and dangerous job. In fact, it is often called the most dangerous job in the world. The women who do this work face incredible risks every single day. They go out on the vast, unpredictable ocean. They go to catch the fish that we eat. They work long hours. They face extreme weather. They work far from the safety of land. This job requires great strength. It requires courage. It requires a deep respect for the power of the sea. The ocean is beautiful. The ocean is powerful and unforgiving. It can change from calm to violent in just a few minutes. For fishermen, this is their workplace. They must navigate treacherous waters to find their catch. Every trip is a gamble against nature. The stakes are incredibly high for everyone on board. This is their story. When people talk about dangerous fishing, one job almost always comes to mind first. That job is Alaskan king crab fishing. It takes place in the Bering Sea, a cold, violent body of water between Alaska and Russia. Made famous on TV, but the reality is even tougher than what you see on screen. Fishermen search for valuable king crab which live on the seafloor. They go out in the fall and winter months. This is when the weather is at its worst. Freezing temperatures, high winds, massive waves that crash over the decks. They use large, heavy steel traps called pots. Each pot weighs about 700 pounds empty. Crews run a tight schedule, dropping pots and pulling pots around the clock. The work is physically demanding and relentless. Freezing spray and cold air combine to build thick ice on the boat. That ice is extremely dangerous. It makes the boat heavy and unstable, increasing the risk of capsizing or flipping over in rough water. Crew must constantly use mallets and bats to chip ice off the boat. The Bering Sea is a place of extremes. Water temperature sits just above freezing. Falling overboard is often a death sentence. Waves can be as tall as a house, washing over the deck and sweeping away anything not secured or anyone not secured. It's a true battle between fishermen and the elements. Every moment on deck is filled with potential danger, requiring constant focus and awareness from every crew member. A crab fisherman's day, or what passes for one, is a cycle of intense, repetitive labor. The work doesn't stop when the sun goes down. Crews often work for 20 hours or more at a time, with only short breaks for a quick meal or a few hours of sleep. The main task is managing the crab pots, baiting the pots, herring, baiting the pots, cod. Using a powerful hydraulic crane, the crew lowers heavy pots one by one. Pots are attached to a long line with a surface buoy. This process is repeated hundreds of times. After a day or two, the hard work of retrieval begins. A crew member hooks the buoy line. They feed the line into a hydraulic hauler. The hauler pulls a heavy pot up from the depths. As the pot emerges, the crew guides it onto the deck. The pot can swing wildly in rough seas. Dangerous moment. The pot is placed on a special sorting table. Close up, crew quickly sorting the catch. Measuring crabs for legal size. Checking whether crabs are male or female. Small crabs are thrown back and released. Female crabs are thrown back and released. This preserves the crab population for future seasons. Legal-sized male crabs moved into a large holding tank. Tank with circulating seawater keeps crabs alive. The whole process is a race against time. Crabs are only valuable if delivered alive. Crew races to sort and return pots to the water. The routine repeats day and night while at sea, with hope of a big catch keeping them going through long, dark hours on the icy deck. The dangers of Alaskan crab fishing are numerous and ever-present. One of the biggest risks is the heavy machinery on deck. The hydraulic systems lift 700-pound crab pots. A crab pot swings from a crane over the deck during a storm. If a line snaps or a mechanical part fails, a pot can fall or swing uncontrollably. It can crush anyone in its path. Coiling ropes and deck lines are deadly traps. A fisherman can get a leg tangled as a pot is dropped and be pulled overboard in an instant. A fisherman can get an arm tangled as a pot is dropped. The force is so strong there is no time to react. Decks are slippery with ice and fish guts, and the boat constantly rolls and pitches. A huge wave can wash over the deck without warning. It can sweep a person into the freezing Bering Sea. Survival time in that water is extremely short. Even with a survival suit, hypothermia sets in quickly. Rescue is very difficult in rough seas, especially at night. Crews try to stay tied to the boat with safety lines, but that isn't always practical during fast sorting work. The job means handling heavy objects, using sharp tools, and sorting thousands of crabs with powerful claws. Broken bones are common, deep cuts are common, crushed hands are common. Medical help is days away at sea. Crews rely on basic first aid and each other's skills. The greatest danger is the sea itself. The Bering Sea produces sudden violent storms. Waves can top 40 feet. Many boats and crews have been lost, vanishing without a trace. While crab fishing is famous for its dramatic storms and icy conditions, another type of fishing is just as dangerous, though in different ways. This is tuna longlining. It is a method used to catch large, valuable fish like bluefin tuna, yellowfin tuna, which swim in the deep, open ocean. A long line is exactly what it sounds like, a very long fishing line. It can be up to 60 miles long. Attached to this main line are thousands of shorter lines called branch lines. At the end of each branch line is a baited hook. The process of long lining requires a lot of space and a lot of patience. The fishing boats are often at sea for weeks or even months at a time. They travel to remote parts of the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian Oceans, far from any land. The main line is set out from the back of the boat, a process that can take many hours. As the line is deployed, the crew attaches the thousands of baited branch lines. Buoys are attached to keep the line at depth where tuna swim. The line is then left to drift in the ocean currents for a day. Unlike the frantic pace of crab fishing, long lining involves long periods of waiting. When it is time to haul the line back in, it is another long and tiring process. Sometimes there is a huge, powerful tuna that can weigh hundreds of pounds. Other times, the hook is empty, or it has caught something else, like a shark or a sea turtle. This method of fishing is used all over the world to catch many different types of fish, not just tuna. Whatever the target species, the job is defined by long journeys and extreme isolation. A typical day for a tuna longliner starts long before sunrise. The first major task is setting the line. The crew works together on the stern or back of the boat. One person controls the speed of the main line as it spools out into the water. Other crew members attach the thousands of branch lines. They bait each hook, often with squid. They bait with mackerel. Then they carefully clip each branch line onto the main line at regular intervals. It's a coordinated effort done quickly and safely. A misplaced hook or a tangled line can cause serious injury. Once the line, stretching for dozens of miles, is in the water, the waiting begins. But the crew doesn't get to rest. There are always jobs to do. They repair equipment, they clean the deck, they prepare for the next haul. The boat drifts along with the line. Crew might eat or get some sleep, but they always work in shifts. Someone is on watch. The open ocean is empty, but not without dangers like other ships, or sudden weather changes. The most intense part of the day is hauling in the line. It can take even longer than setting it. As the main line is pulled in by the winch, each crew member has a specific role. One person operates the winch, others unclip branch lines. When a fish is on a hook, the work becomes exciting and dangerous. A large bluefin tuna is incredibly powerful. It can fight for hours. Bringing it on board is a major struggle, requiring careful coordination to avoid injury from thrashing fish or tight lines. The dangers of tuna longlining are different from crab fishing, but they are just as real. Because the boats are at sea for months, the crew faces extreme isolation. Being away from family and the world for so long can be very difficult mentally. Small disagreements between crew members can become big problems when you are trapped on a small boat together. The feeling of being completely alone in the middle of a vast ocean can be overwhelming. If a medical emergency happens, like a severe injury or illness, there is no hospital nearby. The crew must handle it themselves with limited supplies and training. The equipment itself poses a significant risk. The long line, with its thousands of sharp hooks, is a constant hazard. A hook can easily get caught in a person's hand or clothing. If this happens while the line is being set, the person could be pulled overboard. The lines are under a lot of tension when a large fish is fighting on the other end. If a line snaps, it can whip back with incredible force, causing a serious injury. The powerful winch used to haul the line is also dangerous. A person could get their clothing or a limb caught in the machinery. The fish themselves are a source of danger. A bluefin tuna can weigh over 1,000 pounds and is pure muscle. When one is brought alongside the boat, it can thrash violently. Its sheer power can break gear or injure a crew member who gets too close. Long lines attract sharks, which can be very aggressive when they are hooked. With nowhere to hide, a longliner must ride out any storm, making them incredibly vulnerable when nature turns against them. After learning about the storms, the ice, the heavy machinery, and the endless work, one question remains: why do they do it? Why do these men and women choose a life filled with such danger and difficulty? The answer is complex and different for each person. For many, the money is a powerful motivator. A successful season of crab fishing can earn a person more money in a few months than many people make in a whole year. A successful season of tuna fishing can earn a person more money in a few months than many people make in a whole year. This provides a chance to support their families, buy a house, and secure a future in a way that few other jobs can offer. But the motivation goes far beyond just money. For a lot of fishermen, this life is in their blood. They come from coastal towns where families have been fishing for generations. They grew up on the docks, learning about boats and the sea from their fathers and grandfathers. Going to sea is not just a job. It is a part of their identity and a continuation of a proud tradition. There is a deep sense of community among fishermen. They share a bond forged in the face of shared danger. They rely on each other completely, and that creates a level of trust and friendship that is hard to find elsewhere. There is also a profound sense of freedom and accomplishment. Fishermen are their own bosses in many ways, living by the rhythm of the tides and the seasons, not a clock on a wall. They pit their skills, knowledge, and courage against the raw power of nature. Bringing a full load of fish back to port is a victory. Their story is one of courage, endurance, and an unbreakable human spirit.